So this is Katya, the vegan powerlifter, and I came to Russia to hang out with my folks who are getting older, with my bitch Hera right here in the corner. We're driving home now. We have landed. Everything is fine. So if you want to know how to fly with your dog in cargo, this is what I'm going to be talking about today. I did not find a lot of information about this online, so I feel like it could be helpful for people who have a large pup and they are going somewhere, not for a vacation, but like for some extended period of time, for whatever the reason. And this is my personal experience. I'm just going to share a list of things that I had to research and look through, so hopefully this is going to be helpful. This is an athletic channel. It's a vegan athlete channel, so this video is really off topic. I just feel like it's a very important thing for others with pets traveling to know. So anyways, today we're going to talk about a couple of things. First, you're moving out of the US. I have moved out of the US. Destination country requirements, transit country requirements, if you have any layovers, when to start your preparation, how to figure out the crate, and whether your dog can fly inside the cabin or in cargo, whether she can be an ESA or a service dog. Those were not my cases, by the way, but I did look into those. The documents that you need to enter and to exit and to fly with, the vet situation, what to do. Yes, Hera. You want to be in the camera? You want to be in the camera? Hi, baby. Hi. How to find the accredited vet and what to get the vet to do versus what you need to do. And details about my specific flights and trips. What happens when you book the flight, how to book the flight, what happens when you arrive at the airport, while flying and after flying. So let's get to it. Good girl. So we are at Washington Dallas Airport. Suitcase number 1, suitcase number 2, crate, and dog. Show them the crate. Her documents ready to go, her food, her leashes, live animal stickers like all over the thing, and then stuff for her food and water. So wish us luck. Moving out requirements. So in the United States, the government entity that monitors animals moving in and out is USDA, and aphis is what approves your health certificate stuff and embosses it so you can actually get out and the other country can let you in. That beautiful piece of paper costs $400, and all it is it just says that your dog is healthy to fly and she's good. I feel like if the conditions for flying with humans were so strict, nobody with dirty ears or teeth or, I don't know, bowel syndromes would be able to fly. Bowel symptoms would be able to fly. So I don't know why they have to be so strict for the dogs, but I don't make the rules. So anyways, I thought moving out you can just do whatever. No, you do need a paper from USDA aphis. Luckily, it's the same paper that countries require to let you in. Unluckily, every single country requires it on their terms, so you do need to check. For example, to Russia, they accept it for 14 days within the date of flight. To Morocco, they accept it within 3 days from flying, and they don't specify on their website whether it's 3 business days or it's 3 calendar days or it's 3 times 24 hours. It's kind of like up in the air, and if you call USDA aphis, they don't know, so you can try to call like the Moroccan version of USDA. In Russia, it's Sельхознадзор. So I did call them, I did go there, and I did ask them, and they're like, yeah, just fly with a vet passport. And vet passports are not a thing in the US. I was like, I don't fucking have a vet passport. What do I do then? So they were like, we're going to get back to you, or call this number, call my manager. And the manager gave me another manager, and then they gave me another manager, and they told me I need a form number. Let me show you. form number 15 to enter Russia. So that's their version of health certificate. Morocco has their own version, but regardless, each one of them needs to be embossed and stamped by USDA aphis, otherwise it's not considered valid. And your vet submits it to USDA aphis online, and you cannot pick it up. You need to provide the prepaid shipping label, UPS shipping label, to USDA aphis that they can print out and stick on their little embossed health certificate to then send it to you. And no, they do not give you how long it will take to receive the damn thing, because they could have a line, so they just do them in order. If they don't have a huge line, they do it immediately. If they have a huge line, you have to wait, because other people might come before you, and then you'll be late, and you'll not receive it before your flight, and you'll be royally fucked like I thought I was going to be. I forgot to mention one thing. Your dog does not fly in actual cargo. Your dog flies in the hold, and the hold is like a special place for live animals. You can research that, but it's very easy to find and figure out that she's not going to be there with the luggage. Nothing's going to fall on her. She's not going to freeze. I really hate when people are like, oh my gosh, poor puppy. Oh my gosh. Like millions of animals fly like that every year. It's fine. Your dog is going to be fine. You're probably going to be more stressed than them. The area is temperature controlled, and when you enter the flight, when you board the flight, you can ask the pilot to let you know what is the temperature in the hold when the flight leaves. They're going to turn it on at some point after you guys depart, and the flight attendant is going to come and tell you, oh, okay, it's 24°C in the hold, or it's like, I don't know, 72 degrees Fahrenheit in the hold. They're supposed to do that, so please ask them. The reason why they don't fly with luggage is because so nothing falls on them. Number one, the crate is going to be secured with cables, and number two is that live animals cannot be flying with dead bodies, and deceased people can be traveling on the plane. They do fly deceased bodies, clearly, and they cannot be in the same area. So they cannot be in the same compartment. So your dog is going to be secure, is going to be away from all the luggage, and they're not going to move around. So don't worry about that. And anybody who scares you on that front, just disregard that. Please disregard that. Every single person who I've talked about this are like, oh, poor Hera, oh no. It super doesn't help. If your friend is flying, don't do that to them. Be like, you guys are going to be fine. Do you need any help researching anything? Do you need help with documents? That's a good response. Don't be a downer. Don't freak the person out. They're already freaked out enough, okay? Come on. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go find our airline. The destination country requirements. So, Russia, destination country requirements was a vet passport. I did not have one, so I bought one while I was still in Russia. And then I went to my vet that has seen Hera since like she was a baby. And I was like, okay, what do we need to do so you can fill it out? So I asked her to put a picture in there. I asked her to put her chip number, her chip sticker. I wrote her chip sticker, her information, husky, black and white. And I asked her to write all of the vaccines that she has gotten from birth to make sure there was no gap in her rabies vaccines. That's very important. And the signature. Russians like signatures and stamps. They want that shit on everything. And this is written black ink. Ideally, write it in blue ink, so it's just different on all forms. Write it in blue. Buy a blue little, ink pad for the stamp. Bring it to your vet and be like, yo, my country wants it in blue. It's like, it doesn't cost as much as you can save yourself trouble, okay? And bring them a blue pen if they don't have a fucking blue pen, okay? So yeah, I mean, they signed it, but I feel like she's ready to go. We got all documents accepted. Yay. Yay. Checked her in. Checked my luggage in. And I'm very worried, but it's gonna be fine. If I had this information from the beginning that we would have had to fly, I would have just kept my vaccination stickers, and I would have just put the stickers in here, because that basically it has a number of the vaccine, and that is all they need to confirm, yes, the dog has gotten the vaccine on this date. It's this like vaccine batch and number and series and expiration date. So if you have the date, the name of the vaccine, the sticker, and doctor's signature or a vet stamp, you're golden. If you don't, you can try to make this document later on, as I did. Like Hera is 7.5 now, and this is all her vaccines from birth. It is very lucky that my vet agreed to do this for me, but again, we would have not been able to fly with this and enter Russia without the health certificate, I think, because it's made too late and it doesn't have like vaccine batches or any of this. So that thing is kind of up in the air. You know, some things are up in the air and it's very annoying because the website is like, yeah, just bring a passport. And you're like, I don't have a passport, so what the fuck do I do? So form number 15, you can download on Rossельхознадзor website. And it is very easy. It is in Russian and English. It is just 2 pages. It has information about your pet, that she's healthy, layover country, which was Morocco for us. And then again, at the bottom, there needs to be a stamp in blue, and there needs to be a signature of the vet in blue. I did all the vaccines and health inspection for Hera like over a month before flying, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna come in to do the health certificate stuff, which is again the same health inspection, and filling out the form later on. Let her know about the blue ink and all of the submission dates, and asked her how long that would take. So she told me she just sends it immediately, and she was going to be calling USDA aphis to get it in and process it as quickly as they can. So I got really lucky with my vet, and I did prefer that the same vet does it, the initial vaccines and the initial exam a month out. The only reason we had the exam a month out, it's not required. The only reason why we had that is because they cannot give vaccines without giving the dog the exam in most vet clinics in the US, so I had to pay for an exam. So most airports have a pet relief area, so we just walked all the way down in arrivals, in departures, and we found a pet relief area. You do have to walk quite a while, so it's probably like a mile, and I'm not exactly sure why the pet relief area has to be like gated away from everything else. Like dogs just pee in the bushes, but for some reason there's that, and gosh, it stings here, but there's poop bags, so that's nice. And there's a fire hydrant for some reason, like where in the cartoon that all dogs want to pee on that. What do you think, Hera? You want to pee? Alright, we got our boarding passes. We are ready to do our check-ins before the flight. Yeah, let's talk about the prep first, and I'll get to the forms. So we looked up the transit country requirements and destination country requirements. So since we're not sure about the validity of the vet passport for Russia, we had to do the form number 15, which should be enough. For Morocco, it is their health certificate form that is, you can also download on their website or on the USDA website in French and in English. It is 4 pages. It has their vaccine name for rabies. It's supposed to have the flight information on which you are coming to Morocco and leaving Morocco. So I picked to stay in Morocco for a day and a half. I will tell you why later. Definitely a good decision, just for us to decompress and to make sure she's let out of the crate. But anyways, that's why I had 2 flights. If you're moving, you're clearly just going to have 1 flight. But that flight information has to be on the thing, otherwise it won't be accepted. And then vet signature and her USDA authorization number and vet stamp. And then here it's supposed to have the USDA aphis stamp. As you can see, I'm going to show you 3 versions of this form. This is the first one that I thought we could have been flying with, is if we didn't get anything from USDA at all. The second one was when they put a digital stamp in here and approval, and the third one was when we got the physical embossed form via UPS from them. And then the last page is the addendum Morocco requires. Again, this is 3 days out. This is 1 day out, 1 day out. They do not require any USDA certifications. They just require the addendum with a signature and stamp from the vet saying nothing has changed. Same dog. She doesn't have a fever. She's good to fly. Very curious where he's bringing her. Arrived to the Casablanca International Airport for a layover, and I'm going to look for my dog now. This is my plane. I am sitting here watching them load the luggage and just waiting when they're gonna load Hera, and I do not see her quite yet.
Here we go.
Yeah, good girl. That's a good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. So we got all our documents ready. Unfortunately, we did not get the USDA aphis approval. This needs to have a stamp, but they have a shitty website that bounces it back when we try to enter the aircraft number. So we submitted it, and $800 later, I still don't have it. I paid for UPS like same day document delivery, but I don't think we're gonna have it. So we're just gonna have this and her vet passport, where we have vaccines and whatever the stamps for the latest vaccines. The rest of the things my previous vet has filled out, which is very sweet of her, but Americans don't release vet passports. So they just print out a thingy for you to fly with, and the Russian immigration requires a blue stamp and signature. And they told me to go fetch Hera at the desk of Royal Emirates Airlines. They should bring her separately and not put her on the belt, which would be very, very helpful, because I don't want her to be on this crooked surface. I think those are the doggies that they're loading right now. It's hard to say because they load them last minute, and I'm already on the plane. I'm ready to get seated, so I can't get by the window to see what's going on. There she is. There she is. Yeah! Yay! Okay. I'm happy. Шайни влазит в машину. Cool. Destination country requirements. We figured this out. Just basically health certificate for each country. Just the dates from travel from the trip. That is the only difference. For each country, they can have like 5 days or 3 days or a week. So on the USDA aphis website, it said it 5 days for Russia, but when we called them, they said it's 2 weeks. So I don't know who to believe. I feel like believing a smaller length of time is safer, but again, you are running into a potential issue of not getting any health certificate at all. So you could potentially, I was going to do 2 weeks before, I was going to do a health certificate for Russia and pay for $100, and then do one 5 days after together with Morocco, and then get that one as well. So in case I didn't get the one that was closer to the flight, I would have at least gotten one further away from the flight, but they couldn't fit me in 2 weeks before. And then the reason why I got one 5 days before from Morocco and then 2 days instead of 3 days and 1 day was because my flight was on a Wednesday. So 5 days before it was a Saturday. So we did one on a Friday. And it worked. I guess, oh no, it didn't work. Never mind. It came back because the flight information got bounced in the USD aphis system. I don't know what was wrong, but my vet called me and she was like, yep. So I submitted the form and it bounced back because the flight information didn't get entered. So that was stressful. It was Friday night. It was too late to submit anything, and they wouldn't have reviewed it anyways because USDA doesn't work on Saturday and a Sunday. So we submitted that again on a Tuesday, and I was like pulling my hair out because we were supposed to fly Wednesday night. So Tuesday morning, I came to the vet to do the addendum, but we had to do the whole certificate all over again and enter the correct flight information. That's when my vet let me know that she has a gap in her USDA certification. So the vet who you go to get this document has to be USDA approved, and they must have no gaps in their certification. Well, my vet had cancer at some point, so she did not have certification while she was doing chemo, and she was at the hospital. So she calls me and she's like, yeah, she calls me on the Monday and she's like, hey, so I cannot fit you in today. You're coming tomorrow still, the day before the flight. But I just want to let you know that you might have to go to a different vet because I had a gap in my certification, and maybe that's why the system bounces it. We figured out, actually, she had a waiver, and the system was bouncing her thing, I don't know for what reason, and returning it back without the flight number. But she called around and figured out, in the end, she could approve my thing, and she did approve my thing because she got a waiver when she was in the hospital with cancer. That, like, that situation, it doesn't count towards a gap. But just make sure that your vet is USDA approved, always has been. It doesn't have any gap in certification, otherwise you might have problems submitting the form. So like a day out, we had to look for another vet just in case, until she found out we are okay. Anyways, regarding the forms, I think we have discussed that. When to start preparation. So I would recommend starting preparation as soon as you can. There's nothing you can do too early in this case, right? Like if you have to bug your vet to fill out a vet passport and stamp everything, or if you have to find the USDA accredited vet. Regarding the vaccines have to be given to your dog, at least some of them at least 30 days before the flight, and some of them at least 20 days before the flight. It depends on which ones, rabies, bordetella, lepto. So there's a typical, there's some standard vaccines that your dog needs to have to be able to travel. So there must be no gaps in her rabies vaccination throughout her life. Got that. She must be microchipped and have her microchip number, and you can also have this card, this microchip card right here with her number, and you can put the tag on her collar. Even though she doesn't go into the crate on the plane with the collar, it's supposed to stay outside the crate with you or on top of the crate somewhere. I'll talk about the crate in a moment, but yeah, you must have that number. And while doing the health certificate, your vet needs to scan her chip and make sure it reads. So make sure the number matches, make sure the chip reads. Okay, regarding the vaccines, rabies, no gaps, got that. Bordetella, lepto, influenza, and dapp are the ones that most countries require. Look what your country of travel requires and get that. I have always been getting all vaccines that are recommended for my dog, so I didn't have any problems. So she was on schedule for everything. So if you have not been skipping vaccines for your dog, you should be fine. Just double check. Yeah, we got everything a month before the flight, like 32 days. So we were good with requirements for everything. So Hera is doing pretty well. She's a stoic little bitch. She came to the Airbnb, ate food, drank a lot of water. I think the only problem probably with the flight was that she was thirsty, and whenever I would give her water, she wouldn't drink it in the crate. She wouldn't eat food in the crate. And of course, in the hold, nobody would give her anything. So that's probably the only issue. But yeah, she chilled, slept on the couch, slept on her pillow, and did well walking around in Casablanca. Do you want to walk? Do you want to walk? Yes? Oh, yes. Okay, let's go walk, baby. Время идти гулять. Time to go for morning walk in Casablanca. There's a shitload of cats, which is not helping because Hera is sweet to cats and she wants to sniff them and play, and all they do is this. It kind of terrifies me. So let's cross the street instead. Let's cross the street. Let's cross the street, Hera. One annoying thing that people here do at dogs is they snap at them. And I'm not used to that. It seems rude and off, but in every country there's different things that they used to call animals, so that makes sense. It's okay. I'm just like, who are you snapping at, me or the dog? Yeah, they whistle sometimes, and then most people are terrified of dogs. So like in the US, if I walk Hera and offer kids to pet, everybody runs to her, and they're like, Wolfie, and she's very happy, and she gets pets. And here, like, they can scream and cross the street, like they can literally scream and run away, even though she's not remotely close here, and they could be like approaching and Oh my god, another cat. Okay, I better pay attention now. Crate must be non-foldable, and it cannot be like this crate that is, like it just looks like a cage that looks like a little chicken coop or dog coop, little animal prison, that has mesh like that. It cannot be that. It has to be the plastic crate approved for the flight that has slats for ventilation. Oh my god, Hera is just being way too cute. Are you being too cute, baby? So I got one used on Facebook Marketplace. The one I needed new was like $250, and I would have gotten one unless I found one used for like $75. So that was very, very lucky. The crate size needs to be at least 4 inches from the body of the dog on all sides, not including the tail. So unfortunately, that includes the ears, and Hera's ears stand up, as you can see, right? So she was like 28 inches tall with the ears. So 4 plus 4 inches, we had to get a double extra large crate, which was nice because she had a lot of room. She had room to turn around, and I could stick some t-shirts in there that did not fit into my luggage. So that was a nice, safe, space-saving trick. The thing is, the t-shirts, I guess I put way too many, and it made the crate fit not into their medium but into the large requirements weight-wise. So I had to pay extra for a large crate. So yeah, just check that your crate is approved for the flight. There's a lot of typical flight crates that you can find on the web, and the size of the crate is accurate for the size of your animal. They must be able to turn around there freely, otherwise your airline might deny boarding to your pup. I also recommend bringing zip ties. The airline people are supposed to have zip ties to lock her in, but just in case, put the zip ties on yourself. Don't put a lock with a key. Just put zip ties so they can be cut easily, and in case of any problems, the dog can be let out. That's another reason actually why I recommend starting this process as early as you can, is so that your dog gets crate trained. Even if your dog is crate trained in your existing crate, whatever the crate you have, she must be crate trained in this flying crate. And Hera is not crate trained. She hates her crate. One of my significant others, unfortunately, used to put her in a crate to punish her. So all of the crate training that I did went out of the window. That was really shitty. So she doesn't like to be in the crate. She likes to roam around, and I had to crate train her. So she has her little pillow that she sleeps on. Like, she even sleeps on it right now in the car. It's like a floor pillow. And what I did was, at first, I just brought the crate in and I left it in the house for like a couple days. And then I started feeding her in the crate. She stepped into it. It's kind of like plasticky and bouncy, uneven surface. She didn't want to step in it at all. She just wouldn't eat breakfast. Then when she got hungry enough, she ate her breakfast. But she wouldn't even like take treats from the crate. She wouldn't want to go in there. So do it slowly, adapt your crate slowly. So first, let her smell the crate, let her just stand in the house. Then you can try to feed her in the crate. And then you can try to like put treats or toys in the crate. Don't put the top on, don't assemble it. Just let it stay there open. Yeah, so I put peanut butter like her all over the walls, let her lick it. So she really started not minding the crate. I'm not going to say liking the crate, but she started kind of maybe seeing crate as a less of a threat. But she still would not go there voluntarily, under no circumstances. Then I put her pillow in there, and I put some blankets. And then again, I would just put treats and toys, and I would throw toys in there so that she can step in there to fetch toys. She has a couple of squeaky bunnies, so she would fetch them from the crate, and got a little more used to stepping into it every once in a while. And then I noticed she went in there without me asking, just to sniff around and see if there's any more treats or bunnies or peanut butter. So that's when I was like, yes, we made it. So then a couple days later, so each stage took like maybe 2 to 5 days, right? That's why you need to do this as soon as possible. Then I put the top on top of the crate, no door. And again, was throwing things in there, was feeding her in the crate, and she got more used to it. And then when she kind of started like laying down or her pillow in the crate, I noticed she actually got comfortable and she started sleeping in the crate all by herself, all on her own. I thought I would have to put the door on and lock her so that she can start sleeping in it, because we didn't have much time before the flight. I got the crate like 20 days out before the flight, maybe 25. So yeah, for each stage, I wish we had like a week, but we didn't. And it was a huge blessing. She just started sleeping in there when I put her pillow, and she loves her pillow, so she just started sleeping in there. I put the crate in my room next to my bed so she could see me. And then when I left to compete at Mr. America, I brought the crate to my friends so she could sleep in the crate and not bother my friends when she doesn't need to. And they did exactly that. They put her in the crate to sleep, so she got even more used to it. So I would say days before the flight, she needs to sleep in the crate every night, maybe in a separate room. Or maybe when you leave the house, you can put her in the crate and just make sure she's comfortable to be in the crate alone with nobody around, because that's what is going to be on the plane. Okay, so yeah, dog needs to get comfortable in the crate. It needs to be her safe space. Ideally, you want for her to be able to go there on her own, but even if you don't have time for that, I would just make sure to put all her favorite things in there and make it as comfortable and appealing as possible to go in the crate. Do not punish her by putting her in the crate. Do not punish her by putting her in the crate. One thing I'll mention is I did put her squeaky bunnies in there because she doesn't like destroy those. She destroys bones and sticks. But vets do not recommend putting any toys in the crate during the flight, or anything that your dog can destroy and get choked on. For the same reason, they want for you to put your dog in there sober, no drugs, no tranquilizers, no trazodone, and no collar, so she cannot accidentally get stuck in anything. So keep that in mind. The airlines do reserve the right after themselves to deny boarding if they notice the dog is drugged, or if the dog is not acting normally, as if they know how your dog acts normally. But most airlines do say that on their website. And I had some kitties flying on my flight. The cats were on drugs. It's really up to you what you do. I did not give her any drugs because I did not want to chance it at all, and she did great. But it really depends on the dog and on how you train her. All right. Documents to enter and exit. So we're going to talk that your vet must have no gaps in accreditation, and it is up to you to discuss with your vet whether you are going to bug USDA aphis about the duration of getting the final embossed copy of the health certificate to you, or whether they are going to call them and be like, hey, it's on the way, it's submitted, can you approve it, and can you stick it in that UPS envelope, or if you need a call. I called them and I got on the wait line forever, so I didn't have any luck. My vet, maybe she has a different line with them, I don't know. She called them and she actually talked to them a couple of times. So first she was asking how long does it take, and they told her as long as it needs to take, which is not helpful at all, because I have heard the duration times for most USDA aphis offices to emboss this piece of paper are like 7 to 10 days. And Morocco requires it within 3 days, and then addendum without the UPS aphis approval within 1 day. So they make it really fucking impossible to get it. How are people supposed to fly? I don't know. I live in North Carolina, so I got really lucky. It's not like Miami or New York City, where I imagine a lot more people travel and a lot more people submit this and require this. So I have no idea, if you live in a big city, how to travel with your pup. Going to a smaller city and trying to do it there and flying out of there, I don't know. It's just an idea. So yeah, processing time is definitely a huge concern, because if you do not get the embossed copy, they might not let you on the plane if the country requires it, such as Morocco. We get to the DC airport on Wednesday, and I showed them So I'll show you all 3 copies of the Moroccan health certificate now. How it looks when we submitted it, how it looks when we got the digital copy, and how it looks when we get the embossed copy, okay? So when we just submitted it, it did not have any number of the health certificate in the corner, okay? It still had all the information. It had my vaccination badges and dates, and that the pet is in wonderful health and all that. There's my vet signature with blue ink. There's my vet stamp with blue ink. You see, this is the USDA aphis space. There's nothing here, okay? And on the last page is this. I got the day before. This is addendum day before the flight to go to Morocco. This just has my vet information. Does not require aphis. But anyways, this isn't just submitted in case we didn't hear anything from aphis at all. This is what I would have, and I think I would be royally fucked without anything on this page, okay? If I only had to bring this. At the end of Tuesday, we submitted this Tuesday morning. My flight was Wednesday night. So at the end of Tuesday, we heard from USDA aphis. My vet calls me that they approved it and that they're going to send it. But again, because it's a physical fucking copy that needs to be sent to you with UPS, it's overnight shipping. I live in Durham. They sent it from Raleigh to Durham. They would not allow me to pick it up. It's the dumbest thing. But they have to send it. I don't know for what reason. I could have picked it up and we could have avoided all this hassle. They don't allow it. All right. Anyways, we got a call that they approved it. So now on this page, we have this USDA aphis approval, and it says digitally endorsed. And then it says official stamp. And then because we printed it, like it doesn't have any texture on it, right? And then now it has the number on every page. Now this is the final copy that I got in the mail. And you can see that this has like a texture situation. You see on the corner. And it says approved. So they stamped through all pages. It has a signature of whatever the person. And it also has the texture stamp in here. And it has the red print here for some reason. I don't know why it was not red on other pages. That reads that the certificate is valid for 3 days prior to departure of animals to Morocco. So, yeah. I wonder what would have happened if we submitted this on Friday, 5 days before, like we were originally supposed to, but it bumps back again. For the better or worse, it bumps back. It didn't record a flight number. I wonder if we would have been able to travel with it, because it was 5 days, but 3 business days. I don't know. Nobody knows. We will never know. I asked, for the purpose of this video and my future travel and my friend's future travel, I asked the lady who was checking me in, yo, USDA aphis usually they require like 7 to 8 days to approve this shit. So if I brought you a copy without an endorsement, or a digitally endorsed copy only without the official emboss, would you put us on the plane? She said, don't worry, you have the embossment, so you don't have to worry. I'm like, I'm not worried. I'm asking for the future. Can you let me know? She said, I don't know. I would have had to call my boss, and I would have had to call Morocco. So I don't know. She didn't give me anything. So I recommend you call your country of travel ahead of time and be like, hey, your requirements are as such. USDA might not be able to fulfill those requirements. What do I do? How do I travel? And if there is a non-answer, I don't know, maybe plan to travel through some other country. I don't know, because if they didn't let me on the plane, I would not have flown. I would not have flown without my dog.
Я встретил школьных друзей, мы не виделись добрый десяток лет. Я был очень рад, я пригласил их в гости, я устроил дома маленький банкет. Мы сидели допоздна, но разговор не шел. Тогда я взял гитару и спел свой рок-н-ролл этой ночи. Рок-н-ролл этой ночи. Я думал, будет хорошо, а вышло не очень. Ее я встретил.
Anyways, second document. This is a Russian form number 15. Okay, so there's just 2 pages, all similar information. vet type, veterinary certificate for fur-breathing animals, rabbits, dogs, cats exposed to Eurasian Economic Union. So your vet fills this out. It's like, my dog is healthy. She has not been in any contagious spaces for the last while, and date and stamp. So yeah, that's that. And then I have 3 copies of each form, by the way. One was on top of the crate, one was with me in my carry-on, and then another was also in my carry-on, but in a folder that I prepared to potentially give to whatever the customer offers us if they wanted to keep a copy for themselves. So this is the American form, aphis form number 7001. This. Okay, it's just 1 page. So that is the American health certificate. Okay. Technically, each of these is $400. My vet only charged me $800, even though she was supposed to charge me $1,200, but she didn't charge me for this one. She only charged me for the Russian and for the Moroccan one. And I highly recommend, these are the only forms required, but I highly recommend you print the rabies vaccination certificate for your latest rabies vaccine or booster. So I would have that together with my vet passport also in the folder, and then I had Kara's preventative care report with all of the vaccines that she's gotten lately and if she's gotten boosters. So in case they didn't want to look at that on the vet certificate, I also had my vet stamp and sign this, even though this is like a digitally printed copy. It looks pretty unofficial for Russians, because Russians just want their stamp and signature on everything, but in the US they just print it out and here you go. So yeah. Okay, we talked about the flights, we talked about the digital and physical embossment. Now let's talk about the crate setup. So you got the crate that's large enough for your pet. You put some blankies in there, or you put the rags in case the dog pees themselves. I put t-shirts and her pillow. Inside the crate, you also can attach, the crate usually comes with these little kind of containers, flat containers, one for water, one for food, that you should leave empty. I fed the dog and I gave her water before flying, and I tried to put the water in there when we were checking her in, but all that happened was she just spilled the water. And when we were bringing the crate in and out of the x-ray area, because they have to send the crate through x-ray and look in there with their hands in case there's any dangerous items, the water just got spilled. So I just don't recommend to put any food or water in the crate. No toys, no nothing. Leave everything empty. The food goes in a Ziploc bag and goes on top of the crate. Just duct tape it to the crate. I also had multiple pockets, one with documents, one with leashes and collars and all of her, stuff, because she has to go to the crate naked. No leash, no collar, no vest, nothing. Okay? I bought live animal stickers on Amazon. I bought 2 kinds. One kind was really shitty and it just didn't attach to the crate. So I'm definitely going to be asking for a refund. Those are the white and green ones. The yellow ones were fine. They were smaller, but I just put them all around the crate. And then with the copy of the green live animal stickers, there were also little tags that I could put on a Ziploc on the front and on the back of the crate, where I wrote my name, my flight numbers, her name, my phone number, and then a friend of mine in the US. So I put my Russian number and my name and my Russian address where we were going to, and then I put my friend's name in the US, who could pick up the phone in case there were any issues and potentially respond to that. So I also put their name in the vet passport as the second owner, again, just in case. So yeah, I put the copies of all vaccines, every document in the document folder on top of the crate. No originals, no vet passport, and no rabies tag. Her rabies tag was on the collar in the Ziploc in one of the pockets on top of the crate. You can also put the little like sweet printed out message to the airport people, like, hey, my name is Hera, this is my first flight, I'm very anxious, you can talk to me, please give me water if you see that my water bowl is empty, I'm very sweet, stuff like that. So yeah, you can put that. I did not. They don't speak much English in Morocco or Russia, so I was like, whatever, they'll just read her name and they'll talk to her, which they did. I saw it from the window of the plane when they were boarding her. So yeah, you also want to put last time she was watered and fed on that thingy, and any simple instructions for luggage loaders, because those are the people who are going to be lugging the crate and putting her on and off, and they're going to see your dog the most. So documents to keep on you are clearly all the originals, right? All of the health certificates, rabies certificate, vet passport, and yeah, those are the documents that I kept on me. That's it. There's not many. Booking the flight. Booking the flight is a hassle. It's weird. So what you want to do is you want to find the flight you like and reserve it. There's an option to reserve the flight. On some airlines you can do this online. On some airlines you have to call. I flew with the Royal Air Morocco, so I had to call. And I reserved the flight without paying for it. Hi, Hera. Say hello. Yes, we reserved the flight. I reserved the flight. Then, after reserving the flight, you have 24 hours until the reservation expires. You want to call the airline and ask them, hey, do you have space for a large pet? And you want to give them the kilograms of the pet with the crate, medium, large, extra large, whatever, on that flight. Give them both flights that you reserved or all of the flights that you have reserved. Once they confirm, you can say, cool. And then you either book the flight with a person or they made me go back online. I hung up the phone. I went back online, booked that flight for just me, called them again because there's no way on Royal Air Morocco to add a pet. I don't think there is with any airline. I think you have to call, but I may be wrong. Please write in the comments if you have corrections or additions to any of the things that I say. Okay, so I called them again and paid for Hera for each flight. If it's one ticket, it will be just one payment. But I will tell you in a sec why I did not want it to be one ticket. So I paid for Hera for each flight. Then that was it. Yeah, we paid for me, we paid for Hera. Great. You want to pay for the right crate size. So the crate, for the right animal size, because they asked me, hey, how big is your dog? And I go 27 kilos. And they're like, okay, she's medium. Well, the weight is together with the crate, with the food on the crate, with the documents on the crate, with all the shit you attach to the crate, with all my t-shirts and pillows and all the crap. So she was large. And the price for that is different. I paid for 2 flights. I paid separately for mine and for hers. I paid 158 euros for Hera, I think. So I paid twice. One ticket you pay once for medium. And then I had to pay like $200 more for her for each flight because she was a large and not a medium. So I think a medium is 27 to 44 kilos. But going through security with this, and I put one suitcase inside and one suitcase is here. There's definitely way too many things and it's very hard to manage on my own. So if you fly with a dog, fly with another person too. My dog right there. You see? In the crate. Yeah. She's just hanging out there. Он с ней разговаривает, какой молодец. Имя читает. О, молодцы, ребята. Молодцы. There she is. I don't know how much I'll be able to zoom in because I'm sitting by the I'm so happy that she's okay. Luggage goes in a separate area than the crate. In case you guys don't know, dogs do not stay. All 3 toilets on the plane are blocked. Our flight is delayed. Hera is still sitting in her crate. I can see her nose maybe. Yeah, but they just pushed the crate aside and they unloaded all the luggage. And now they're trying to get to the toilets because apparently the luggage was in the way. So the flight is 5.5 hours. And she got loaded into the thing like 2.5, 3 hours before the flight, so she is going to be in there. All right, at the airport, you arrive 3 to 4 hours early. Get your dog boarding passes first, and then get the dog boarding passes. So to get the dog boarding passes, they will ask you for the embossed health certificate. Okay, I gave them the vet passport that I'm not sure she looked at. She asked for rabies, proof of rabies vaccination, and vet certificate. It also has a rabies vaccination, but I don't know. She asked for that separately. She was out of the crate for that time. We just walked in the airport, checked me in. The crate was separate. I had a suitcase in the crate. They ran the crate through the x-ray, splashed all my water on her pillow. And then I put her in the crate, and they were like, okay, you want to walk her and put her in the crate. So I walked her and put her in the crate and brought her to the flight. They wanted her like 1.5 hours to 2 hours before the flight. They wanted for me to put her in the crate, and they kept her at the ticket check-in counter until the very last minute because they did not want to bring it to the luggage area sooner than later. That was in DC. In Morocco, they took her away like 3.5 hours before the flight. Like I arrived 4 hours before the flight. I got myself checked in. I checked her in. They took her away immediately. And I was just so worried asking them all the questions. They forgot to charge me for an extra fee for a large crate rather than medium, so that was nice. But they did charge me for an additional suitcase because for some reason from DC to Casablanca, you have 2 free suitcases checked. One was overweight, so I just paid for overweight suitcase, like 60 or 80 euros. And then from Morocco to Russia, I had to pay like 60 or 80 euros for an additional piece of luggage and 60 or 80 euros for overweight luggage. And I would have had to pay 200 something euros for her being large and not a medium dog in the crate. But like their belt wasn't working. I don't know. They were not really on point with that stuff and they forgot. And when they just took it away, I remembered that I forgot to put zip ties to lock the crate. It's just 2 zip ties, so to make sure it doesn't open with turning. And it's a nice safety measure, and I forgot. And I came back and I ran to them and I was like, oh, zip ties, please put them on. I forgot. And they're like, yeah, we're fine. Your dog is fine. But like, I know they don't give a fuck. So I was like, can you bring her back? I want to see the zip ties being put on. But she already was taken away. So like, I guess from there it was like their liability. It was my liability that I did not put on the zip ties. So I was like, fuck, she can run her boarding lanes. Oh my God. Anyways, she didn't. Everything was fine. The crate was secure. But when she arrived, when I got her, even though they assured me they put on zip ties and they brought like their long electrical zip ties, and they're like, look, we have longer ones, not like yours. They're better. She arrived without zip ties. So please remember to put on zip ties on your crate before submitting them. So we are disembarking because the toilets are completely broken. They cannot fix them. We need to change the plane. Hera is standing there in the crate while they're trying to fix stuff. They removed the luggage, and then that's Hera right there. So I highly doubt they'll let me take her. It's really interesting that the guy next to me said he bussed here from Marrakesh because they couldn't fly them. The air company is called, by the way, so you know, Royal Air Maroc. That's them. So, I flew here from the States and it was all fine. But as you can see, like there's not even TVs for an international flight in the back of each seat. There's TVs like every 3rd row. So you can't watch movies on an expensive international flight. And now their toilets are broken. And there's an animal standing there. Luckily the weather is great, right? This is the reason why I didn't fly in the summer, or that's the reason why you shouldn't fly in the summer or in the winter. Because animals stand outside there with the luggage until, they get loaded with all the other shit. So if it's your animal might get heat exhaustion. I'm not like extremely nervous for her, but
if they stay so a while, I will start getting nervous.
Submitting them anywhere. And I asked them if I could walk her before and bring her on later, if she could just stand at the ticket counter before they bring her to the luggage area. And they're like, no, we take her now. And I was like, okay, I guess. Yeah, so 7:30 p.m. I submitted her. My flight was supposed to be at 10:15. Well, all the toilets got clogged up, so she was just sitting on a freaking by the plane outside. The weather was nice, luckily. It was like 68 Fahrenheit, which is like 17 Celsius, I believe. So yeah, she was just sitting next to the plane, next to all the luggage before boarding. And I was like, okay, I guess cool. I'm about to see her being put on the plane, and then the luggage starts to go out of the plane, and I call the flight attendant, like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, toilets got clogged up, we gotta change planes. And I'm like, fuck, man. So we got delayed 4 hours, and we flew out at 1:45 a.m. or like probably 2 a.m. From Morocco, and we got to Moscow around like 10 and change a.m. Local time. So she spent like 12 to 13 hours in it total.
This woman is bringing 2 cats on the flight. One cat is in the cabin, and she's under some kind of tranquilizer. She's not asleep, but she was just passed out up against the crate bars until somebody scratched her head and woke her up. So she's not like fully passed out, but she's pretty chill. She's like a lot more chill than normally. And I asked the woman how could she do that, because the vet told me specifically not to give any tranquilizers or any pills to Hera before the flight to keep her calm, because they might not let her board. And the woman was like, they don't know the original state of the cat, if it's a chill cat, if it's a anxious cat. So how would they know? As long as the cat is awake, it should be fine. You cannot bring 2 pets with you in cabin, so she had to bring 1 cat in the hold. So last time she traveled, she had the 2nd cat in the hold. This time Hera is the only animal in the hold. We are departing finally. The flight was late for 4 hours. Bye-bye Morocco. Bye Casablanca.
There was a mom with a kid, wanted to get something out of luggage for the kid during the delay, and there were like two kitties and 1 dog flying in cabin. She was the only pup in cargo, and I was like, can I get her? Can I walk her? Can I water her? They're like, no. So that is the reason why I recommend you get 2 different flights, not 1 ticket, no matter where you go. First, so you can put a buffer of like staying in the hotel and chilling for a day before putting her on a 2nd flight, like I did. I got an Airbnb close to the airport, and we just chilled for a day and a half. That's a big reason. If it's 1 ticket, they might not let you take your pet at all, depending on the sanity of the workers, the country, their culture there. They are supposed to, because it's a live animal. So if it was 1 ticket, imagine that. I talked to a couple of people online who flew Casablanca, through Casablanca Air Morocco, from like Doha to Canada and through Casablanca in some shape or fashion. And most of them assured me they would not give me the dog on the layover. All tickets through Casablanca that go to Moscow, they land in the morning and they arrive and they depart in the evening. So it's a 12-hour layover. So we would have flown DC to Casa, I don't know, 7-10 hours, 12-hour layover, and then like 6-hour flight to Moscow. The whole time she would have been in the cage. Plus, if we got the same delay, 4 more hours, that's like 24 hours in the cage. I mean, she would have survived if we're talking survival, but I don't think it's good for animal mental health, her bowels, her, like, I would have been freaking the fuck out. I know a woman who had a huge scandal with them at the airport. They still did not give her her dog. She was there on a 5-hour layover. It was a smaller dog flying in the hold in cargo from Doha to Canada. Didn't give a shit. So highly recommend 2 different flights. Pay extra. It's your dog's health. It's your sanity. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, luggage-wise, I get it. If the flight is delayed, they don't give you the luggage usually. Depending on the size of the airline, I guess, and the airport, but still, like, Moroccan Air, they're okay. They're okay. I do want to give them credit for serving vegan pasta on the plane, though. First time I've got served a vegan meal without, like, a special request.
Привезли волчарку. Вот она едет из неговоритного багажа. Моя сладкая. Собака! Ты моя сладкая! Привет! Привет, животные! Привет! Все, закончились мучения. Out of the shitstorm. 2 suitcases and a dog. Very thirsty. She didn't really want to pee. She peed a little bit, but she mainly wanted to drink. No. Dog! Hey, Hera, come here! Иди сюда! Hera, no! Come here! Убегает из лужи пить, сучка.
Fly fall or spring if you can. Do not fly in the summer or winter because temperatures can be super low or super high, and she's just sitting there next to the plane outside. So like she's cool in the winter or right now as a husky. In the summer, she could have been not so cool. She could have been overheated, right? And they're anxious. They could be freaking out. Severe temperatures, not good. So yeah, IAD to Casablanca, good service, no questions. At the Airbnb in Casablanca, she was a bit pooped. She didn't eat. We did have a couple walks and scared a couple local cats accidentally. There's way too many cats. It's a cat culture. And kids got scared by her because, oh, large dog. They literally like scream. And I'm like, it's a dog. You can pet her. But yeah, they don't really, I haven't seen that many dogs around. Just smaller dogs and cats. So yeah, she was good overall. She rested at the Airbnb and drank a lot of water. She was visibly, noticeably dehydrated after the flight because nobody gave her water on the flight. They just boarded her and boom, there she goes. They told her they gave her water during the delay when I asked them like a gazillion times, and her pillow was wet on the edge, like where there was remnants of water. But again, how much did she drink it? Did it all just spill? She doesn't drink in the car. She doesn't eat in the car. In any vehicle, she just doesn't eat or drink. So I don't know how much we can trust them. Okay. So yeah, she was really anxious to see me. She was really anxious to pee when we got out, and it was really sweet. We walked, she peed, and she was a happy beast. I got her some treats, and you know, she's a stoic little bitch. I think we got everything under control now, and she likes the weather here. She's comfortable here, but overall, don't fly with your dog unless you have to. What do you say, Hera? I hope this video was helpful, and you can share with anybody you know that is flying. And I'm going to try to record the same one, but in Russian, for my fellow Russian-speaking people who fly with their pups. So, yeah. I hope to see you in the next video. If you're looking to check some vegan food or powerlifting videos, check the rest of my channel. Peace. We have arrived and we are safe. The most hilarious thing is that on the Russian side, nobody checked my anything. Nobody checked any health certificates or vet passports or all of the things that they told me to bring. Nobody gave a shit. So yeah, maybe they were just watching me try to exit with a huge crate, a small suitcase inside that crate, a big suitcase lugged by the crate, and a dog pulling me with the whole crate on wheels and a suitcase shebang, and they were like, she's good. I even came to the customs officer that was sitting in there in the red corridor waiting for people
who have things to declare, and I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to use the green corridor, so I'm just gonna go to you. And she's like, anything to declare? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, give me your declaration. I'm like, I don't have a declaration. She's like, then go to the green fucking corridor. And I was like, cool. So yeah, no questions, just picked up my stuff and I went. So no problems entering Russia, unlike all of the scaries that I hear and read on the internet. So we are happily loaded in the car and we are going to go home.
Рок-н-ролл этой ночи, рок-н-ролл.